Welcome to day 4.
3 and 4.
3 and 4, yes. It is, as you were seeing this, it is day 4, but yeah.
Yeah. 3 and 4. Got a little busy yesterday.
Just a little bit, yeah.
So we didn't have time
to
put out a video, but we're going to do that today.
But we're going to combine what little we had yesterday into today's and kind of give you a taste of what we're doing today. So,
But I got a lot of reading done yesterday. And you did too?
I got one book finished yesterday and today. Okay. So
I'm on a really good momentum going in. I think I started reading Clown in a Cornfield early this morning. It's a little too... I've read this before.
Yeah.
And
it's a YA horror book, so yeah.
Something's going to need to happen drastically for me to enjoy this book, which I really, really wanted to, especially with that time.
I yesterday got most of the way through A Certain Hunger, and I'm going to finish that today. That's the goal. We're going to go book shopping today. Are you excited? My wallet's not excited, but we have some books that we're going to purchase today. I'm going to go work in my classroom a little bit. I'm going to start a new book today. I can't decide yet. Well, figure it out. Maybe you'll see later. I don't know. Should I buy you dinner?
Yeah.
And margarita?
Well, my last margarita.
Yeah. Ever? Okay. How's your final girl-a-thon going? What's your progress?
There's been a lot of people posting on Instagram and letting us know. There's been a few of you that have actually won the bingo board.
I got more progress than I anticipated. So yeah, I am excited to see if I can complete the bingo board. So, and we have some bonus activities we're gonna do.
We have to.
Those are gonna be fun.
We have to.
So yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm feeling a little bit. I think because so much stuff has come up this week in life that I'm getting a little exhausted. I'm feeling a little bit, I got a lot on my plate this week and I didn't intend to have a lot on my plate this week. And yeah, so, because my intention was to stay home every day and read. I have to mow the yard, but it rained the last 3 days, so I'm nervous to mow it today. Maybe tomorrow. We're going to update you throughout the day. We're going to take you book shopping with us. We'll do a quick book haul with you. And then we'll show you our progress on the books we're reading. So, hope you're enjoying Final Girl-a-thon, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Welcome back. So this is day 3 of the Final Girl Readathon. I'm actually ahead of schedule for the first time probably in my life. So I've read everything that I had planned on reading thus far. There's still, I think there's only 3 books that I need to finish by Saturday. So there's that. I'm saving for We Sold Our Souls because I thought that would be like a nice treat for me by the end of this week. So I'm going to wait on that. So I decided to kind of dive into Clown in a Cornfield because I wanted to read this before the sequel comes out here in late August. So looking forward to that. So hopefully I'll have fun with it. I like the pull quote from Clive Barker there saying an author who knows how to make us afraid. So that's fantastic because I like... Well, I think I've only read a few of Clive Barker's books, but hey, if he says it's good, well, I guess we'll see. We'll see. So I'm going to dive into that today. I really want to focus, especially today and tomorrow, on a lot of the bonus point stuff because when I was going back over the bingo card game, I realized that the choices that I made, I was not going to get a bingo, and I don't know what I was thinking when I was putting together my TBR. But so I'm going to focus a lot on the bonus stuff. I want to make like a cabin out of kind of popsicle sticks. That's what I've been thinking about doing. So I think I'm going to go buy some popsicle sticks probably later today or tomorrow and start to make that as my kind of camp craft. So I think I'm going to do that. I think it's going to take a moment. I had a student for one of their final projects. They had to build set designs for certain shows, and this young lady, she made a house out of popsicle sticks. It was like a set, and I was just very inspired by that. So I'm like, oh, I can make a cabin out of popsicle sticks, and maybe make like a final girl out of something, because that'll be fun. But I'm not a very crafty person. So, we'll see if you get to take a gander at them. Or, it may look like a kindergartner did them. I don't know. So I'm going to be focused on that. There's a few films that I want to watch between now and then too. A few horror movies that are on our list to watch. I think Craig hasn't seen Demon Knight. And I think we're going to watch that either today, tonight, or tomorrow. But there's that. So I'm going to dive back into Clown in a Cornfield and start to kind of plan my crafts and kind of like my bonus point stuff for the day. And because there's a few that I know that I can get done today. I will probably not get the Gail Weathers bangs. Even though I know Craig probably wants to give me bangs, Craig cuts my hair, by the way. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I'll probably have to make bangs out of like construction paper or something. I don't know. Okay. So I'm going to go and I'm going to get back into Clown in a Cornfield and work on some craft stuff and some bonus point content stuff. And I will check back in with you a little bit later. All right, bye.
Welcome back to day 4 of Final Girl Thon. We are back today. Yesterday was a little bit weird and funky. Like, we have a couple of things which I'll toss into the vlog today that will represent yesterday, but I had some family stuff come up, and so I was out of the house pretty much all of the day yesterday and didn't really have time to read and or film. So that's partially why we didn't put a vlog out yesterday, but we'll kind of lump all of that together today. But I wanted to do a quick check-in, both to say good morning, welcome to the vlog, all of that. But I finished A Certain Hunger. I said I wasn't able to read yesterday, but I was actually able to listen to the audiobook on my drive, both there and back, and got pretty far through the book. And then was able to finish it this morning. I only had about 60 to 70 pages left this morning. So I loved this book. I told David that this book it's not my normal speed. It's not like what I would usually choose. This is not something that I would pick up if I saw it on the shelf and like read the description. But because he loves it, and then so many other people have loved it as well, I thought it was important that I read it, mostly because I know how important it is to David. And I was nervous this whole time because I was like, what if I don't like it? What if it's not for me? What if I don't personally have any connection to it? I don't want that to be a thing, you know. Luckily, that was not the case. I absolutely love this. If you love sharp, witty, sumptuous, brilliant, descriptive writing, this book is for you. I was worried that the cannibalism stuff would be too much, or the body stuff would be too much. And there were some times where I was like, oh God, like I wasn't expecting it, but the writing is so beautiful, and the prose is so, to use a food word, delectable, that you just want to keep reading. You want to keep understanding the dynamics of Dorothy Daniels and why she's doing what she's doing, but you also just want to hear her talk about what she's doing, because it's so engrossing and enriching. Like I don't know, there's just something about it that I was just like, I haven't read a book like this in a long time. A book like this that was both, it is a horror book in a lot of ways, but it's not horror in the typical sense. You know, it's there are horrific things that happen, but ultimately it's a character study. It's about why this woman is the way she is, and how she navigates the world, and what the world has done to her / what she expects from the world. I just found it so engaging and lovely and hard to read, but amazing, like just amazing. And I understand why David loves it. I understand why people are really falling in love with this book, and I hope that more people do, because I want this book to find a huge audience, and I think it's already doing it. You know, very early on in this channel, we got to sit down and, David got to sit down and talk to Chelsea about this book specifically, and I got to sit behind the camera and listen, which I found to be it was so enlightening in so many ways, to hear Chelsea talk about her process and why she does what she does and how she does it, and how her voice is so intrinsically in Dorothy's voice. I was just, blown away by it, and I understand the hype completely. So I'm going to give this an A+, 5 out of 5, would recommend, will be in my top of the year for sure. And I can't wait to read what Chelsea writes next. I'm so excited. I'm going to go down a rabbit hole today of all the articles and all the things that she's written. There's a really great New York Times piece, which I'll link in the description below, about a certain hunger, and that kind of profiles Chelsea a little bit. And the artwork in that piece is just brilliant. You should read the book, read the physical book. Also, I would recommend that you listen to the audiobook. The audiobook is slightly different, because if you go back, the audiobook was commissioned first. So the story in the audiobook is the same, but there's some textual pieces that are different than what's in the published version. And I think that they work well in tandem, but also if you can discern the pieces that are different, it's really interesting to look at the changes that were made, because that has happened to me in the past. You know, normally they're in an audiobook versus the physical book, because I usually do both. Sometimes they're a little different, sometimes, like just small words, but there are some pieces and parts in here in the audiobook that weren't there, which I thought were really great, and I loved it. And the narrator for the audiobook is brilliant as well. Loved her as well. So 5 out of 5, another good book for Final Girl-a-thon. I loved it. I loved it.
Okay. Hi, I am back, and I have made some progress, at least with a Clown in a Cornfield. I'm loving it so far. I've never been really creeped out by clowns. I'm not that type of a person. But it's going pretty well. It's starting to fall into some typical tropes that I'm just like, okay, I've read this before. I've read something like this before. So I'm hoping that there's going to be a change sooner or later, because I really don't like repeating myself when I'm reading books. So if it's the same subject matter, if it seems like it's following the same tropes that I've read before, it kind of makes me tune out, or I want to kind of zip through it. So I'm about close to, right now, I'm at 158. protagonist, she's good so far. It's nothing really too, I don't know. I'm kind of, I want to say I'm on the fence because there's been a few books during this final Girl-a-thon that I've been on the fence about, and I don't really like doing that with books. It's either kind of one way or the other, but this book was so hyped last year or last summer that I was really excited to finally read it once it was like coming into my orbit. Because I think I purchased this last year, but just never got a chance to read it. Hopefully tonight I can start with Carrie, which I'm excited to reread. I read this a long time ago in my very early teens, and I think if you kind of grow up as, I don't want to say an outcast, or if you've ever been bullied growing up, you find kind of a connection to this book, especially if you're a lover of film as I am. You kind of I really did enjoy that film with Sissy Spacek, and that film does not match up with a Carrie that I envisioned in my head when I first read this. So there's that. So I'm excited to do that tonight. Hopefully, after I get some stuff done, I kind of want to just focus on this for a while. And tell me in the comments, are you guys afraid of clowns? I don't know. It's fun so far, I guess. I don't know. It reads a little too YA for me. We need to keep the action going. So that, and plus I'm really excited because the sequel's coming, and if it's that good, well then it's coming in a few weeks. So that's the focus today. So okay, so I will check back in with you a little bit later. Hopefully I'll let you know how this works out, and then that's it. So I will see you all back here in a little bit.
Okay, so I wanted to just briefly talk about where my plans are next and what we're gonna where we're going. Today is going to be a bit of a, I don't know, not a lazy day, but I have something to do tomorrow, and we have something to do on Friday, and we might have something to do on Saturday. So like there are things piling up, but today is like the one day where we kind of can focus on books. I am gonna go work in my classroom for a little bit today, and then come home. But we're gonna try and get as much reading done today as possible. So I have 2 books on my TBR that I'm going to pull out for today specifically. The first is Sarah Gailey's Just Like Home. I have been wanting to read this for about a month since I read about it. And then I know a bunch of my friends read this for Summerween and had mixed thoughts on it. So I'm nervous to read it. But I'm excited because I am excited mostly because I love the cover, and the story sounds really interesting as well. I have an arc of the audio from NetGalley, which I can use, though I don't love the audio interface with NetGalley because it doesn't really allow you to listen much faster than like a one-time speed. And as we've said before, my typical go-to is about 2 times speed when I'm listening to audiobooks. So that's a little annoying, and I've been waiting on this from the library, but it hasn't shown up yet, so I'm just kind of like crossing my fingers that will happen soon. This is up next for me. And then after that, I don't have the physical version, so I'll pop up a picture of it. It's called The Cabin in the Woods by Sarah Alderson. I got the audio for this last weekend, I believe, and I had another book picked out for my like camping prompt, and I wasn't really feeling it. And so when I saw this come up and I could check it out from the library, I did digitally. And so I have that book digitally. I started it last night, and right now I'm not like super into it, but I'm gonna kind of persevere with it today and see where it goes. Because I'm only like 50 pages in, so I'm not gonna write it off after just only 50 pages. So I'm gonna try that as well today. So, and then that will be, Dark Harvest, Certain Hunger, Last Final Girl, Murders of Molly Southbourne, Certain Hunger. I've gotten 5 books read so far this week, and we are on day 4 of the readathon. Now, granted, 2 of those books are novellas, so they're quite short, but the other 3 were fairly long. So I'll just rant for a second. I really hate reading digitally. I hate reading books on my phone or on my iPad. I don't know. It's just something, I guess, because I didn't grow up with that. Like, I didn't grow up with the ability to do it. It doesn't feel natural to me, so I have a really hard time with it. And in fact, I find myself getting less and less engaged when I'm reading on my phone versus when I'm actually reading a physical book. So I'm really pushing myself to try to do that more often, especially with some of the arcs that I've gotten. I'm like, I should really work hard to read these on my phone, even though I don't like it. And I will get distracted more frequently than not. So, but yeah, so my plans today are to try to start this and then finish Cabin in the Woods and then see where I end up at the end of today. And then kind of make a plan going forward, because we still have 3 days left after today. So I have a fair number of books, but if I can finish both of these between today and tomorrow, I will have gotten 7 books done. I think maybe I could probably finish 1 to 2 more, maybe, depending on the time frame that I have. So I could potentially walk away from Final Girl-a-thon having done 9 books, which is pretty, in a week, it's pretty hardcore for me. So you just saw us do a little bit of book shopping, and so I thought I would share the books that I purchased with you. We you saw in the library hall a couple of days ago, we went and checked out books to help be addendums if we needed them, or to help us, add in pieces if we felt like it. And so we also bought some books to do that. So I wanted to share the books that I bought with you. Most of these are on the recommendation list or were books that I had found, which I thought would work really, really well. And so I was going to share, I bought 4, checked out 4, bought 4. So we'll see if any of these kind of end up being finished this week. So the first book I bought I only bought because of the title and the cover, and that's Kill River, which I thought was a brilliant description and a brilliant cover. And it's essentially, it's a slasher movie in a book form, and it says a novel of slasher horror. It's about a water park, and it takes place in 1983, and they think that the water park is empty, but it is not, and there's someone that's going to kill them. So I was really excited for this. David loves 80s horror movies, so I thought this was a perfect choice. The next one that I bought is a very tiny little book, very, very tiny, and that is Keelan Patrick Burke's Sour Candy, which I have heard really good things about. It's about a young boy who I think is like holding his father hostage, and it's like 70 pages, so I could easily like knock this out pretty fast. So I'm excited to read this one as well, and the cover is beautiful, so there's that. I also bought, based on some recommendations, this book called Dear Laura. Her best friend is missing, and she keeps getting letters saying that somebody knows where he is, but that she has to kind of do things in order to kind of find out what's going on. And so I thought that was really interesting as well. And it's also quite short. It's a novella. It's 115 pages. So by Gemma Amor, Dear Laura. The last one that I got was on our Q3 5-star prediction list, and I actually was able to get an arc of the audio, and that's Ronald Malfi's Black Mouth, which is being compared to It in a lot of ways, because it's about a group of kids who were friends, back in the day, and then they have to kind of come back together. So I thought this one was really interesting. This one's much thicker, so I don't know if I'm going to get to this one this week, but I could if I get through everything else. So yeah, these are the 4 books that I bought, hoping to kind of, give myself some other options in case I needed them. So not too bad of a little haul, I don't think. I would read all of these anyway, even if it wasn't, Final Girl-a-thon. So I'm going to use these to kind of fill in wherever I need them. So
okay, not my favorite book of the week so far, but there were some things that I did enjoy about Clown in a Cornfield. It was almost like it was like a boomer versus Gen Z horror slasher book, which was kind of fun and interesting to read. I think that last 75 pages was really, really fun. And it if you haven't read it yet, there's a twist towards the very end where supposedly there's this killer clown that's going around the town killing people, and a twist happens at the very end, and you kind of find out who the clown is. And it was very surprising to me because of how that ended. It was really, really fucking bonkers by the end of it. I don't necessarily think that the ending landed, which I think is why I'm kind of excited now for the sequel. I was having problems earlier today kind of getting through it because it was just like, okay, I've read this before, same tropes as before, or same tropes that I've read before, kind of like the same story. I mean, it just kind of falls into that same kind of horror trope, which I can get a little bored by. But then it wasn't until the very ending when, all the shit goes down, and the clown is or the I can't even really talk about it. That's what's so interesting about this book, was that kind of leads you one way and then it completely just pulls the rug out from under you. And I thought that was fantastic because I wasn't expecting that. So that was fun. But yeah, and I think the main protagonist, she kind of grew on me towards the very end. Yeah, and I think she was a really fun character. Overall, I would say maybe a B minus C. It's kind of falls in there, and I think we'll see how the sequel is. If the sequel's any better, this might kind of move up the ladder or move up the grade level. So yeah, so there's that. So Clown in a Cornfield. I'm now going to kind of I'm going to read something else for a little bit to kind of get my mind out of, killer clowns. And then kind of jump into Carrie this evening and see where that kind of takes me. So yeah, so there's that. So I will see you guys in a little bit.